Howdy, partners. Hey, what's up? Hope you're doing well today. Today we have a video that we're extremely excited about. Billions have requested it. Today's video is about Bible translations
and how to choose which Bible translation is best for you. You guys have been requesting more faith videos and we're bringing them to you. We had to take a little bit of a break there because we're learning how to be new parents and that takes up most of our time, but we definitely want to give you guys more faith videos because we love doing these. Oh, he's yawning.
Okay, if you notice that I'm constantly staring to my left, bottom left down here, it's because of our son.
Yeah.
Our precious, beautiful little boy.
But if you're okay, sorry. But if you're new and you've never seen us before, be sure to hit that subscribe button below. That way you can be updated whenever we post a new video. We do faith videos like this, we do vlogs, lifestyle videos, all different kinds of stuff.
So we want to go over a few things on how you can try to find the best Bible translation for yourself. Not what everybody else reads, not what your friend reads, what your parents read, anything like that. What Bible translation is the most understandable to you? And we're going to talk about a few translations that we trust and that we love. There's all kinds of different Bible translations, but we have 5 that we want to talk about specifically in this video.
And we just want to say these are all different Bible translations and they're just that, translation. So one translation isn't necessarily better than the other or more superior or anything. The number one thing that you can do is pick the translation that you understand the best and that you can read and study from.
And that's exactly it. They're all translations from the original scripts. From King James Version to the New Living Translation, everywhere in between, they're translations. So they're taken from original Greek or Hebrew manuscripts and translated into the English. Oh, that was funny, huh, bud? So the 2 types of Bible translations that we want to focus on in this video are thought for thought, which is on this side of the spectrum, and word for word on this side of the spectrum. This is a total general overview, so it's not meant to be super in-depth. But thought for thought translations are going to be generally easier to understand. When the Bible was translated from the original Greek and Hebrew, obviously the English language is completely different, and there was a whole lot more words that they had in the Greek and Hebrew languages to be able to convey different points and feelings and just points in general, really.
Just like in English, we have different slang terms that we use that might not make sense in another language, or even just the actual way the words are placed in a sentence will be different.
In a word-for-word translation, you're going to get the English language that really at its core tries to translate the original text exactly for what it was saying. So there, sometimes you'll find in some of like the New King James or the King James or ESV that some of the wording might sound a little jumbled.
Yeah. The sentence structures can be a little weird.
They can definitely be different.
Yeah.
They can be weird. Yeah, to us. You'd be reading and be like, whoa, that's kind of backwards, or that was like a really long explanation for, and that's because our English language that's how it's translated word for word best we can into our English language. A thought for thought is going to take some of those areas throughout the Bible that might be jumbled, and it'll take the meaning of what was trying to be conveyed and just structure it
so it's more readable.
In an easier to understand, more readable fashion. So again, thought for thought, word for word.
And all the translations we're going to share today fall somewhere in that spectrum. So one thing I want to say is when we're talking about different translations like ESV or KJV, some people are like, wait, what does that mean? Those are different abbreviations for Bible translations. For example, ESV stands for English Standard Version. KJV stands for King James Version.
NLT stands for New Living Translation. And the NIV stands for New International Version.
And CSB, Christian Standard Bible.
Yep.
NKJV, New King James Version.
So we'll put on the screen the Bible translations, the 5 that we're going to talk about, starting from most word for word, and then down to the translations that are closer to thought for thought. So they'll be in order for you. So I just had like a little crumb in my beard. If you could see it the entire video, like seriously, you wouldn't tell me. Like, why would you not tell me that there was something in my beard?
And I didn't notice it till just now.
Wow, that's embarrassing. So one thing you might hear is that in order to engage in the most, in-depth and serious Bible study that you can do is you have to have a word-for-word Bible translation. I understand I get the point. It's because it's the most literal, taken from, translated, even though it might be kind of harder to understand, it's translated exactly how it was, supposed to be structured in the original language into our language. But again, going back to word for word, sometimes sentence structures and meanings can be really lengthy and discombobulated. And for some people, they can read that and have zero problem understanding what it's trying to say. I know for someone like me, I personally find it difficult to follow along with that kind of structure. I love having a word-for-word study Bible. However, I gravitate more towards having a better flow. One thing that should absolutely be on your checklist for finding a translation for you is the flow. Is how does it flow when you're reading it? Because if you're stopping every 30 seconds because you're going, wait, what did that mean? Or wait, why is it saying it like this? Or wait, so I was reading that, and then you have to stop and you have to like analyze the sentence structure when you should be analyzing the meaning behind what's being said and given to us. Then that's an issue.
Well, for example, we used to volunteer with new believers at our church. And we would have new believers come in and they would have a King James Bible or New King James Bible. And they were having a hard time just understanding and reading their Bible. So we would ask them, oh, which translation are you using? And it tended to be more of the word for word translations, which there's nothing wrong with those. We like those translations too, and we use them. And for some people, like that is their Bible translation. They're able to understand it and study from it. Yeah. But if you have a hard time with it, there is nothing wrong with using a thought for thought translation. What matters is that you understand what you're reading so that you can actually learn and grow in your relationship with Christ.
Exactly. And one thing about thought for thought is that these aren't translations that are leaving anything out of the Bible. They're not taking what's trying to be conveyed to us, the truth that we're supposed to take from what the Lord left for us in His Word. They're not leaving out the truth. Really, it's being translated into how we would understand it in our language today. The sentence structures that we would use, the meanings that we would use, the words that we would maybe use to convey it, and that might not make sense to us if it was taken literally from that language. So I think that there's definite benefits to both.
So we actually were kind of doing a little bit of research and found a few different passages that you can use to compare different Bible translations. So if you're looking for what Bible translation would be best for you, you can go to your local bookstore that sells Bibles, or you can look online. There's a lot of online Bible resources, or use your Bible app and compare these translations with these passages. Just read these different passages and see which translation makes the most sense to you and that you're able to grasp and understand the best. So the ones we compared were Hebrews 12:1, Matthew 11:28, and Philippians 4:6 through 7. And for me, the translations that I like to read from the most are ESV, and then I also like to use NLT and NIV. Those are the ones I typically use. On a daily basis, I tend to use ESV. That's just the translation I gravitate towards and I'm able to understand.
Yeah, and I think the ESV is a terrific translation, definitely one of our favorite. It's by Crossway, and Crossway has a ton of other awesome resources, so check them out. And when reading these verses, and just generally when I do my study, the translations that I do best with are the New Living Translation and the New International Version, the NLT and the NIV. And I do have my ESV. We have awesome ESV study Bibles that we use that I always look at the notes on. I love the ESV, but I I do tend to study from more of an easier flowing thought for thought type Bible. And one awesome tip that you can do is that I love this, is you can take the verses and with your husband, your wife, whoever it is, a friend, your parents, your dog.
Maybe not your dog.
You can take the verses and have them read the verses to you out loud without telling you what translation they're reading from, and whichever one makes the most sense, have them do it with all 3 verses. And then whichever translation comes out on top for you understanding, then use that translation, because that's showing that you understand what it's saying the best.
Okay.
So that's a fun way to do it, huh? We actually did that out there. We tested it.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah, and we actually ended up picking the ones we currently use anyways, so that was good to know we're using the translations that work the best for us. Yeah. If you guys want to see a video with our recommendations and our favorite Bibles that we use, give this video a thumbs up. But in the meantime, we do have a few different Bible reviews, so we'll have that playlist linked in the card above, or over here.
With more Bible reviews to come. So again, to reiterate, to use a Bible translation that flows and that you understand the best.
Yeah.
Like, don't try to force it if you're not understanding it, if you're not getting the flow, if you're not understanding the King James Version, then don't read the King James Version.
Yeah.
Maybe have a King James Version that you can go and compare and look up, and reference. But read the NLT or the NIV or the ESV, whatever it is that makes sense to you. These Bible translations are trustworthy. It's all about understanding the truth that God has left for us.
Yeah, of course, pray about it. Ask the Holy Spirit to guide you in which translation you're going to be able to hear from God through. So that's a quick way on how you can find the best Bible translation for you to read.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. We have a ton of videos we've done and a ton of videos coming.
Be sure to leave a comment below. Let us know if this video helped you at all and what your favorite Bible translation is. And we'll see you guys in our next video. Bye.
Bye.
It's permanent from my heart. Anywhere we go is where I